Alrighty, folks, what's going on? It's Matt here for Dr460nized Taking Game Wars, the fusion of Linux technology and gaming. And these videos that I'm currently looking at, while older, is videos that I hate. Top 10 Linux distros for gaming. There's no definitive distro for gaming. There's this. It's. I hate videos like that are entitled like that because there's distros that are focused on gaming, but there's no definitive distro for gaming, because the cool thing with Linux is you can make any distro for gaming. It's just, how do you want it pre-compiled and pre-done for you as a demographic? For me, as an example, like this thing over here is a 1X Player Mini Pro. I want Chimera OS on it because it's an appliance for gaming, and I like what they do with it. And I need something I can plop on it and install and get into gaming. That's it. I don't need general computing, general purpose stuff. I don't need content creation stuff. That's how I view distros. And I don't think things like these lists actually do any justice to the overall ecosystem, because I give up a lot of control from a technical point when it comes to the pre-compiled version of like Chimera. There's ways around stuff, but if I don't want to be super technical with it and jump through hoops to get stuff working, probably not the best option for more general computing. So it's all relative, honestly. So let's get into see what this person's list of 10 reasons or 10 Linux distros for gaming in 2023 are. Hopefully it's not stupid.
Hello guys, welcome to Coding. Over time, we have observed numerous technological innovations since the advent of technology. One of the most remarkable advancements in recent times is the progress made in gaming on the Linux operating system. In the past, if you had inquired about the status of gaming on Linux, people would have dismissed the idea, claiming that playing AAA games on Linux was not feasible. However, the landscape has changed significantly today, all thanks to Valve's Proton technology and the introduction of the Steam Deck. This progress has dispelled the notion that Linux cannot be a competitive platform for gaming and has established Linux as a viable option for gamers worldwide. Hence, if you want to start your gaming journey on Linux, here are the best Linux distro for gaming. The first entry on our list might seem unexpected, but don't underestimate its capabilities until you've experienced it firsthand. Gaming on Fedora unveils the true extent of progress this popular Linux distribution has made, excelling in both user-friendliness and gaming support. Similar to other distros focused on gaming, setting up NVIDIA drivers on Fedora, whether open or closed source, is a breeze and only requires a few simple clicks. Moreover, Fedora comes with a convenient store that facilitates the installation of Steam through FlatHub or directly from the source using DNF Package Manager. Although using Wayland in Fedora may not be ideal for gaming due to stability concerns, the overall performance is comparable to X11. Fedora's outstanding feature is its cleanliness and streamlined design. Not only is it an excellent choice for gamers, but it also appeals to those seeking an aesthetically pleasing and reliable daily driver distribution.
Okay, Fedora. God, I'm gonna catch flack for this. I would no, just so many levels of fucking no. Like, it's a general purpose OS. So let me put it this way: Fedora is a general purpose OS. You can make it whatever you want, but is it tailored specifically from a demographic point of view towards gaming? Spins, yes. Overall, Fedora, fuck no. I'll leave it that way. Again, you can make it whatever you want. There are certain things I definitely disagree with, jumping through hoops with the third-party repos and all the other stuff to get applications and NVIDIA drivers, and the fact that it uses Wayland and NVIDIA and Wayland are just polar fucking opposites. There's a lot wrong with that fucking recommendation on so many levels. Because the people that are going to look at these videos, and this is where my qualm with these videos comes in. The people that are going to look at these videos are people that aren't really going to know Linux. Because if you're doing a top 10 Linux gaming distros video, it's not for people that are already in the fucking community, in the know, or use the fucking product. You're just talking fucking echo chamber shit at that point. This is for more general people.
Garuda Linux is a rather less known distribution but could be a good fit for general purpose desktop computing and gaming. Some might think of it as an up-and-coming competitor to Manjaro, and I think it's well on its way to that end. It's a powerful distro with tons of customizations, the options, and loads of goodness. It's also pretty beginner-friendly, offering the power of Arch without most of the hassle. Garuda provides several GUI applications to easily manage the system. The one thing that you would like here is the Garuda Gamer application. It's basically a GUI tool that lets you easily install gaming-related tools from one place. Garuda OS bills itself as...
Okay, and I'm speaking as a Garuda user. How do I put this? I love Garuda. I love everything they work on and do. As a general computing platform, and as a distro that has a general use of Arch, though, is its problem. It doesn't break nearly as much as Arch, as long as you stick with like if you use the AUR, use the chaotic AUR. If you're going to use stuff that you need, I recommend Flatpaks over the AUR. That said, there are certain tools that do make the experience of getting certain things up and running a lot easier. The initial first boot where you can download all the stuff that you want and the various tabs that it gives you, that's fucking-tastic, because it's like, hey, here's a music player, internet, etc. All that crap you can click, type, tell it to install, input your password, and away you go. That's fucking amazing. I love that. The Garuda Gamer stuff, as it were, some people aren't going to understand what a lot of the applications in there are, so there could be a better explainer on some of that. Now, they are highlighted if you kind of like hover over them, but I definitely do think there is certain things that it could do better. So like you have in Garuda Gamer, and I have this pulled up right now. If you just go to the Gamers tab, you have all your checkboxes and all the other stuff. So it's like tools to use STL as a Steam launch option. Like that kind of stuff is explained if you hover over it, but that's about it. Like these guys are coming from an OS that they're not going to understand, or to an OS they're not going to understand. So a lot of these like Goverlay and core control and green with envy and all this kind of stuff, that's all shit and stuff that they're not going to understand, that are equivalents to and alternatives to what they're coming from. So you're not getting your AMD equivalent software. You're getting something similar with core control, but it's not one for one. It's different. So we do kind of a shit job at explaining some of that sometimes. So would I recommend it as a gaming specific distro? If you are, I'll put it this way, it's a good general purpose OS that has a lot of easy setup stuff for gamers. That it's just a bunch of checkboxes, click and go, and on your way, that you don't have to do yourself. So with that regard, yes. The out of the box experience, I've had no issues with it generally, but everyone's going to find their use case, and some people really don't care for the candy aesthetic, shall we say.
As the gaming Linux distro, and it certainly delivers on that promise. It's built with performance and security in mind, getting you straight to gaming and even installing Steam during the OS installation process. Based on Ubuntu, Dr460 OS aims to provide a platform for gamers. Please keep in mind that Dr460 OS is not for everyday use. It's a bare-bones distro that comes with the lightweight XFCE desktop environment. The biggest complaint we could lodge against Dr460 OS is the cumbersome and oftentimes buggy installer. It uses parted for partition management, which is fine, but the installer can still fail sometimes. Having Ubuntu in the 4th place on the list may give us a backlash due to the direction the distro is headed. Corporate
Dr460 OS, Thomas does a fantastic job at developing that. It's not for me, I'll be the first to admit, but his focus generally tends to be on gaming. Yes, as far as a general use case OS, again, you can make, like, does it cater to the demo with a Linux, Linux lean? Then yes, I have no problem with the base that he chooses, etc. It's not a distro for me. But does it cater to that gaming end of the spectrum? Yeah. Again, if you're looking for a general use case OS that leans towards gaming and more of an out of the box experience where it gets you to your games quicker, then yes, it falls into that demographic.
Corporate illness, but hear US out. If you want a no-frills operating system for gaming, and nothing more than for carrying day-to-day tasks, Ubuntu is a good choice. For starters, the NVIDIA drivers don't come pre-installed, but they're just one command away. Besides, you can install Steam, Heroic, and other game launchers such as Snaps to get started quickly. If you don't like Snaps, FlatHub is always there for you. According to a Steam hardware and software survey, Ubuntu is the second most popular Linux distribution after SteamOS, and that's largely because the OS is a great starting point for beginners. Although we think the same is false, it still remains one of the most popular distro choices for first-time users.
As far as Ubuntu, it's a general use case OS. I'm not going to say it's a gaming distro or Linux distros for gaming. Every distro is for gaming. It's just whether or not you want to put in the work or how much work you have to fucking get to it to have that lean into the demo that is supposed to be for gaming. Again, this is the problem. It's like the same thing with fucking Fedora. As far as the way I'm going to view like gaming distros is how many steps do I have to go through before I get to the big green play button? That's what I care about, and that's what most gamers are going to fucking care about. So putting a general use case OS that doesn't have any lean other than being a general use case OS is fucking stupid. Again, I have no issue, like the Ubuntu Snap and all that stuff. Like, I don't care. Like, it's, whatever. Let the distro do what the distro does. There are issues with it. There are issues with every distro. The NVIDIA drivers, I believe, last I remember, they're baked into the ISO. They followed Pop! OS not that long after Pop! OS started baking them into the ISO, so I think that bit of information might be a bit wrong, unless I heard that wrong. Flatpak, what he doesn't tell you is that insert a bunch of esoteric commands into the command line to install Flatpaks, because Ubuntu doesn't ship with Flatpaks. It's kind of the same as 180 of the Linux Mint situation. Just Ubuntu doesn't actively go out of your way to say no to you. So it's relative. Again, I'm not going to call it calling it a distro for gaming is fucking stupid. It's a general purpose OS. It doesn't have the lean of and it doesn't lean into the gaming demographic and the out of the box, like how quick can I get to my games situation.
Regata OS focuses on providing a great gaming experience for users, and they have introduced several features to achieve that. One of these features is the Game Access app, which gathers different game launchers in one place, making it easier for users to access their games. Additionally, the Game Access app runs games on top of a custom version of the Wine compatibility layer, based on the latest version of Wine GE Proton. Regata OS also includes popular apps such as Lutris, Heroic Games Launcher, Bottles, and Mini Galaxy in their store, which users can use to enhance their gaming experience. Moreover, Regata OS has a custom Linux kernel that has optimizations aimed at improving game performance. Before you pounce on us,
As far as that particular distro, I have no comment. Like, I haven't looked into it enough. I know it's changed kind of what it's focused on throughout the times, as far as what it specifically looks at. So I'm not going to comment on it. I know it does have a gamer lean. That's the biggest thing I can say. So yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And I do like the fact that it supposedly, just going by this information presented here, that it has some get me to my games quicker and kind of a unified launcher. Awesome. So yeah, it falls into the leans into the gamer demo, at least with the information provided.
on us, yes, we know the Steam OS ISO for PCs is no longer in development. What we do know, however, is that Valve will release a standalone Steam OS 3.0 ISO for PCs soon. However, soon, in Valve years is around 5 to 6 years give or take, considering how long they take to release software. Luckily, you don't have to wait for the official Steam OS 3.0 ISO, or maybe
Get to the point.
because the OS from Steam Deck has been ported to PCs and the project is called Holo ISO. However, all the NVIDIA users should jump to the next listing as the OS doesn't support NVIDIA cards. For AMD GPUs, they must support RADV drivers to work on Holo ISO. While the use case might seem too specific, if you do have an AMD GPU with RADV drivers, Holo ISO is a compelling Linux distro for gaming.
Holo ISO isn't even around anymore. Well, it's around. It's just totally different. It's immutable. It's not based, like, I'm not 100% sure if they ended up flipping from being essentially the system recovery ISO that it was for general computing to whatever they ended up switching to. I stopped paying attention to Holo ISO when I didn't see any updates for like 8 or 9 months. So whatever. Is it a gaming distro? Does it lean into the gaming? Sure. Would I recommend it for gamers? Not necessarily, because just the way the ISO and the way it's currently done, I wouldn't recommend it. I believe the other one that I would recommend is Bazite, I believe, is probably the one I would recommend because it fits better. It gives you the immutable, it gives you all the SteamOS stuff, the style stuff, and whatnot, if you're going to go that route. More personally, if you're going to go that route, I just recommend Chimera OS.
Pop! OS is a Linux distribution developed by System76. One of the notable features of Pop! OS is that it allows users to download graphics drivers during installation, so there is no need to manually obtain them later. While Steam and Lutris need to be installed from Pop! Shop, users must also install ProtonDB manually. Pop! OS is a popular choice for Linux gamers due to its high performance, and some users even find it difficult to switch back to Windows because of its smooth gaming experience. Nobara is a special.
I'm going to replay that because there's a portion I want to make sure I heard right.
Pop! OS is a Linux distribution developed by System76. One of the notable features of Pop! OS is that it allows users to download graphics drivers during installation, so there is no need to manually obtain them later. While Steam and Lutris need to be installed from Pop! Shop, users must also install ProtonDB manually. Pop! OS is a popular choice for Linux gamers.
Well, okay, there's a few wrong things there. The NVIDIA driver is baked into the ISO, first off, homeboy. With Steam and all those, Steam and, Lutris and that stuff, the other general purpose distros you recommended, Ubuntu and Fedora, etc., shit has to be installed from the fucking goddamn repos to their fuckhead. ProtonDB is a website. So you don't install ProtonDB. You go to ProtonDB to find shit that might be similar to yours to fix problems or to see how a game is generally speaking running. That's what ProtonDB is. Now, if you mean just ProtonGE, different. But I heard ProtonDB. I could be totally wrong, and I'm making an ass out of myself. Wouldn't be the fucking first time. But if it's ProtonDB, no. Proton GE, yes.
Gamers due to its high performance, and some users even find it difficult.
And also, do know if you have the other general purpose OSs that you mentioned, and you said Proton GE, you still have to fucking install Proton GE separately as well, not just in Pop OS.
It's difficult to switch back to Windows because of its smooth gaming experience. Nobara is a specialized Linux distribution created by Thomas Crider, also known as Glorious Eggroll, a software maintenance engineer at Red Hat who has worked on various projects to enhance the gaming experience on Linux. Unlike other Fedora spins that provide the same underlying system with just cosmetic changes, Nobara includes its own package manager and software repositories, specifically tailored for gamers. Nobara offers a highly targeted operating system designed for hardcore gamers, with everything they need pre-installed or available to install with one click. Its package manager and software repositories are optimized for gaming, pulling out and reconfiguring basic system options and packages to provide an immersive gaming experience. Linux Mint is tagged across the
So yeah, cool. Like, I don't know what you want to say. Nobara, yeah, it leans on the gamer recommendations. Cool. Like the guy that makes it is literally one of the guys that makes one of the biggest spins of the Proton. So like, yeah, it's fine. I have no problems with that recommendation. It has its issues just like every other OS. Again, like probably 3 out of the 10 that he's probably going to give, I'm going to have an issue with, because they fall into general purpose and get in the way of getting to me games quicker.
Across the community as one of the most user-friendly and stable Linux systems, but is it cut for gaming?
Make that 4.
The short answer is yes, as with any popular distro. But the question is, how good is Linux Mint for gaming? We would say decent, as it offers the ability to install NVIDIA drivers right from the driver manager. The driver manager allows you to choose between the open source Nuvo driver and the proprietary NVIDIA drivers, and installing them should be no issue. Besides, Linux Mint is rock solid, thanks to its Ubuntu base, and will receive updates for at least 5 years. The devs don't embrace Ubuntu's ethics and shove snaps on your face. Rather, Linux Mint has banned snaps and embraced Flatpak, which is a much faster and cleaner package manager implementation than the former.
So many. God. So, 2 things. As far as Linux Mint being, cleaner and dumb, you can install the NVIDIA drivers through the hardware manager in Ubuntu, and their device was a driver manager or whatever the hell they're calling it now in Ubuntu. You can do that through PopShop. You can do that. It's not anything special. You can do it in Manjaro. You can do it in Garuda. You can do it in insert fucking distro here. And you can choose between the Nuevo drivers or the NVIDIA drivers. The distro didn't fucking matter there. As far as the snap stuff, no, you're right. They don't put snaps in, and they don't put them in front of your face. They just actively make it so you can't install it and tell you so, or when you try to install, snapd. So they're impeding the user. Thanks. At least with Ubuntu, it doesn't impede the fucking user to insert all the commands you need to actually install Flatpak. Linux Mint just goes out of its way to do just that with snaps, though. So if your fanboyism isn't kind of soaking through, it sure as fuck is now.
Lakka Linux gaming is not all about playing the latest AAA titles, but sometimes it's about enjoying the older retro titles to get that nostalgia back, and no OS does a better job at letting you play older games than Lakka Linux. Lakka is based on Libra ELEC and RetroArch, one of the best front ends for emulators for old and new PCs alike. The OS essentially allows you to transform your PC into a fully blown console. Lakka allows you to play games from the original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and older Nintendo consoles such as the Wii, 2D, 3DS, NES, GBA, and lots more. Installing Lakka shouldn't be very hard, and the OS itself is highly scalable and customizable. As for the game ROMs, while downloading ROMs might be illegal, if you're willing to take the risk, there are tons of resources on the internet that might help you download ROMs for Lakka.
As far as Lakka is, it's a emulation distro. So yeah, it's essentially if you want to do a lot of emulation pre-PS3 era. Does it cater to gaming? Yeah. Is it the number one? I'm assuming this has no particular order. No, it is not number fucking one. Far fucking from it. I do find it weird that this particular list goes in something as widely weird as a niche as Draugr OS. But it totally misses the distro that like other big YouTubers and stuff. And I'm not a big fan of ETA Prime, but you know, ETA Prime will talk about, you know, he doesn't talk about Bazai. He doesn't talk about Chimera OS. He doesn't, you know, so I can't take a list like this seriously. And when 4 out of the 10 distros that you have are their base start is a general computing OS, and get in the way of getting me into the games quicker, and your fanboyism on one of them really fucking shows, I can't really take the recommendations on this seriously, because half of them almost, or 40% of them, don't even lean into the gamer demo by default. The other ones, there's a couple that lean into the gamer, Garuda, Nobara. Those get me to the games and like the PC games quicker. Lakka is use case specific for emulation and console style emulation. So again, they lean into the gamer demo. So cool recommendations, but somebody who didn't do a lot of research, I'm just going to say, like, dude, you can find 10 gaming leaning distros and you found half of them weren't even that. 40%, I'll be accurate, weren't even fucking that. Give me a break.
The Linux distributions mentioned in the previous passage are considered to be some of the best options for gamers on Linux. They are all equipped with the necessary features and technologies to start gaming on Linux and are compatible with almost any type of game. Whether you are using a desktop or laptop, one of these distributions is likely to be the perfect fit for your needs. You can enjoy playing games on a stable and secure open source platform without having to pay for proprietary software. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more.
Okay, I can't. So, no, half of your video was not informative or useful fucking at all. And so, can the fanboyism and all the other junk please just be knocked off? Like, I'm a Chimera OS guy, but like, it's not the best distro for it. It doesn't work with NVIDIA GPUs, etc. Find the distro that works for you. That's what it boils down to. Lists like this I generally find to be quite trashy because they're usually not researched at fucking all. Just as it shows with the 40% of his distro recommendations are generally the demo they lean into is general purpose OSs and not lean into the gamer end of it by default. That's a pretty shitty batting average on a researchable 10 out of 10 kind of list. You got a 60 at best, and you still had information presented wrongly. So yeah, not a fan. A lot of dumb. Couple of the distro recommendations, cool. Nobara, Garuda. I always love a shout out for Garuda. But you could replace so many of those general purpose distros with 4 others. Chimera, Batacera, Bazite, which, you know, there's a ton of other distros you could have made recommendations for, and you didn't make any of them. That's kind of shit. Not gonna lie. So don't recommend these videos because they're usually not well researched. They're usually full of fucking stupid. And I rest my case. What are some of the gaming distros that lean into the gaming end of the spectrum, not general purpose OSs by default? Would you recommend? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys on the flip. And you got a Patreon and all that crap links are down in the description. Peace.